Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy MKS here, back here with part 2 of my shopping list for AC Monza for Christmas. Got some good news actually. Normally I like to get the bad news out of the way first and then say the good news, but I thought I'd do it. I thought I'd mix it up as it's a Monday. Mixed up Mondays. I have some strange plans, I know. But anyway, some good news for once. In my last video, I mentioned how my kitten was poorly yesterday, and I was a bit worried about if he's okay and all that kind of thing. I thought he would be. I hoped he would be, obviously, but I wasn't 100% sure. But so far, he's looking almost back to his usual self. Although he still looks a bit sluggish, but he seems all right. So I'll check on him a bit after this video and all that kind of thing. But he seems like he's doing well, so that's some good news for once. Who says there's no such thing as good news? But yeah, hopefully he's back and he'll be back to his usual cheeky self soon. So especially for those who are animal lovers and in particular cat lovers, hopefully he'll be appreciative of that news. So I'll drink to that. Anyway, back to the topic of the video. I would love to go to travel to Monza. I've got to admit, I don't know a huge amount about the area. I know it's famous as far as I'm aware for car racing. I'm not into car racing, again, as I mentioned in part 1. But anyway, here are some ideas, plans, thoughts, points of view, or whatever. I often say point number 1 or point number 2 or whatever, but I suppose you could say idea or plan or thought or vision or whatever term you want to use. Anyway, so these are ideas, plans, thoughts, visions, or points, number 11 to 20. So hope you enjoy, especially fans of Italian football and Monza and Celtic as well, and football fans generally enjoy it. I hope you enjoy listening to my mad ideas and hopefully supporting a mad YouTuber, mad and struggling YouTuber and whatnot. I hope you support my content. Another Christmas wish list, I'll say. But anyway, I'm going to try and stop waffling, and here goes. So number 11, I would love to listen to and hear from and read from Monza fans as much as possible. In this case, like I'd love to read any sort of facts, stats, and general info about the club. So if Monza fans would be kind enough to say anything about the club, like what it means to you, what the logo means, when it was founded, or any sort of facts, stats, or again general info, and to record again general info about the club, it'd be great to read that and hear from Monza fans. Maybe Monza fans can make their own content. I haven't seen any AC Monza YouTube fan channels, but maybe hopefully some Monza fans could make your own. And as I hope Monza fans will see these videos, check them out, and support them, and again be inspired by them and make your own videos on such. But I suppose I thought I could ask as a question, like, please would you share anything you know about Monza, maybe even the area as well, maybe even stuff about Formula 1 or whatever. I'm not really into that myself, but hopefully mainly about football. But even if you share any information about the area, or even about Formula 1 or whatever, if it excites viewers or interests viewers, hopefully that would be of benefit to Monza. I hope they can monetize their YouTube channel as much as possible, and generally make as much money as possible, which is what these videos are about. I think there are a few points I could have covered, but I was thinking of covering, but I've forgotten some of them. But yeah, if anyone can post anything about that kind of thing. Anyway, moving on, number 12. I'll say these videos really are mainly about how I dream for the clubs, Italian clubs and Celtic, in this case obviously Monza, to get as much money as possible so that they could use those funds, whatever, same thing I suppose, that investment and that sponsorship and whatever money they get coming in, whatever funds they get coming in, to fund bringing in even better players or whatnot, and improving the squad as much as possible, and things like that. So on that note, I'd love to know any ideas on how to improve Italian teams such as Monza, and that kind of thing. But yeah, to buy better players, invest in the youth, and things like that. Number 13, I fear that I might have left these videos a bit too late. So like it's only a week till Christmas, so it would be, if I'm really dreaming, and as I often say, this is probably a pipe dream to be honest, but if I'm really dreaming, I would love for wealthy investors that begin with M, especially if I'm going on alliterations, or just any potential investors and sponsors, or possible investors and sponsors to invest in and sponsor the club and that kind of thing. But I hope it happens on Christmas Day. It'd be a good Christmas present for me, and I'm sure for Monza fans and fans of Italian football generally as well, even though many of them are rivals of each other, but with my mad ideas. Number 14, I hope somehow these ideas will be spread. Maybe I should copy and paste the link and try and send it to potential investors. One of the things I was thinking is, like, what if the owners of Monopoly invested in Monza, although I think it's owned by Hasbro. So part of me, going on alliterations, would love for them to invest in Hellas Verona, because that begins with H, just like Hasbro. But it does remind me of Monopoly. Number 15, I would love for Monzo Bank to invest in Monza. I think obviously they're pretty much the same except for one letter difference. So I suppose they sound fairly similar. Monzo and Monza, pretty much the same sort of name. Obviously, just swap the A with an O, or vice versa, and that kind of thing. But yeah, banks and whatnot to invest. I'll say for the club to have as much money, investment funds, sponsorship, or whatever, which all leads to having more money, more funds. Again, could use those terms interchangeably as possible. So to bring in the best possible players, coaching staff, scouts, and whatever is involved in a great football team. So hopefully in the future they can compete with the top teams. If I'm really dreaming again, to compete with teams like Real Madrid, perhaps even maybe. That's a huge dream that I would have, but again, probably a pipe dream. Number 16, I'd love to know any suggestions on how to improve Italian football teams like Monza and Celtic as well. I know they're not an Italian team, but Italian teams and also Celtic, and again, I'd love for Italian teams like Monza to have a partnership with Celtic. I was thinking that with AC Milan, they could be AC Celtic, so like Celtic competing with AC Milan to try and help them to practice. Although they're competing against each other, really, it's actually for each other's benefit in the longer run, and it's only to help each other to practice. That would be my dream anyway. So Celtic to have a partnership with Italian teams like Monza, Milan, and even Inter, and even the rival teams, so they can help each other to practice and develop, learn from each other, talk about plans together a little bit, whatever plans they want to share, and ways to benefit each other. So hopefully I'll find all possible ways to benefit Italian football and Celtic, and most importantly, Italian teams and Celtic will find all possible ways to benefit themselves. Number 17, so it would be hard to imagine, but I'd love to see Monza becoming world class or as good as possible. I hope they can reach their full potential. I'll drink to that, as I say. Number 18, I would love for them to be involved in positive, good causes and things like that. Number 19, there was a point I was thinking about, but I've completely forgotten it. Again, forgetting things is a common theme. But again, I know I mentioned this in part one, but I would love for them to develop spaces and places for sport, or as I sometimes say in the opposite order, places and spaces for practicing and playing football. So young people from Monza can practice football as much as possible, which I hope will benefit both club and country. And again, I'd love for this sort of thing to happen from Christmas or as soon as possible, or at least around Christmas time and before, as soon as possible and as often as possible. So hopefully it will benefit the club. And again, I hope they'll be involved in lots of good causes for their local community, for the country, and for the world generally. I hope they'll help to build more houses, say, for instance, so to fundraise through football to build more houses, to build more training centres, education, and that kind of thing. So I hope it'll be a mutual benefit. I hope they'll benefit, and the local community and national community and even international community will benefit. Hopefully they'll be able to work as a club to tackle poverty and things like that. And number 20, once again, I would love to go to places like Monza and to find out all I can about the football club and see what I can discuss. I'd love to work with the club as much as possible to see what ideas I can discuss to support them. It'd be amazing, I'd say, if on Christmas Day they got so much investment, so many wealthy shareholders, equity holders, and whatnot. It'd be a great Christmas present, I'd say, for me, and I'm sure for Monza fans and fans of Italian football generally, maybe even to an extent. So, as I say, I would love for Monza and other Italian teams, and also Celtic, to get as much investment, funding, sponsorship, money, and whatnot, just generally, as much money basically from all sorts of sources, money or funds, money/funds. I use those terms interchangeably. As I hope to get as much as that as possible, so that in 2024 and from 2024 onwards, they can invest in the best possible place, and maybe even before that, they can build academies, sports clubs, and all sorts of things like that, and work on their marketing, branding, and just general PR. I suppose again, I use those terms interchangeably. Maybe in my naivety, marketing/branding/PR. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. And as ever, I'd love to know what you think. I'd love for people to rate my videos on a score of between 1 to 100, so it can be like a percentage. So if people don't like my videos, maybe they could give me like 1%, or if I'm a bit more lucky than that, perhaps 10%, or I hope it'll be more than that. But it would be interesting to see what people think of my videos, even if they are harsh. I hope to take constructive criticism on board as much as I can. And also, I hope I'll get positive comments, which will encourage me, but especially in this season of goodwill. Anyway, stop waffling, Michael. I am out. Peace out.